Okay, working with links in formulas. Still on links. If you have a data in one workbook that you want to use in another, you set up using a link between the two workbooks. When we say workbook, that is file, two separate file. We have here figure 3.11 containing two workbooks. Okay, have here the dependent workbook, which has, a file name 2017 budget summary. 2017 budget summary. So, gumawa ako ng ganyang file. Ayan siya, oh. 2017 budget summary. Now, do not ask for the details. Yung details niyan is, since this one, ito lang, limited lang yung window being shown for the details worksheet within ito, 2017 budget. So, syempre, gumawa ako ng imaginary students. So, nakikita nyo lang is August. But, actually, yung sum for that is based on 4 quarters. Ayan. So, naiintindihan nyo na yan siguro. Syempre, kailangan yung gawin ito as activity 4. So, yung mga value, which is yun, is August, September, then 3rd quarter na amount. October, November, then 4th quarter. Imaginary yung aking ginawa for July pabalik sa January. Ha? So, ganun din yung gagawin nyo for activity 4. Ha? Na-clarify ko lang. Then, budget expense, which is 563,000. So, pinapakita ko lang sa inyo. Again, for budget expense, limited lang din yung shown within the sample. So, for expenses, okay, wait. Pabinit, anay. View and freeze. Freeze panes. Ayan, freeze natin. So, since limited lang din, for August lang din yung shown, cost of goods, and advertising. So, what I did is, ulit, gumawa ako ng imaginary students.
So, what I did is, ulit, gumawa ako ng imaginary students. Gumawa ako ng imaginary students. Gumawa ako ng imaginary students. Gumawa ako ng imaginary students.
So, this file is 2017 budget, wherein I have worksheets for details, assumptions, and projections. Since di ko rin alam ano yung mga content nito, imaginary lang din naman yan, students. This is how you navigate between worksheets within a workbook. Okay, you use this to transfer from one worksheet to another. Then to add another worksheet, you just click new sheet. And then to rename the new worksheet, double click lang and then type the new worksheet name. So, ganun siya. If you wanted to transfer this, at the right side of assumption, you just drag. Yan, click and drag. Now, you're seeing an arrow pointing downward na black at the top left of sheet 3 that serves as the guide on which part of the worksheet it gets inserted. Huh? Let's say you place it between details and assumption. As you drop your mouse cursor, ayan, nagtatransfer siya dyan. Ganyan. Okay. So let's switch back to details. Hindi ko pa pala napalitan yung mga labels. Okay, so now we'll start with the demo. Okay. Since we have two workbooks here, 2017 budget and 2017 budget summary. Ito yung budget, tsaka ito yung budget summary. And I'm going to demonstrate with you how to do links between two workbooks with formula. Oh, the budget summary sheet in 2017 budget summary workbook includes data from details worksheet in the 2017 budget workbook. Specifically, the formula shown in B2, okay, ito siya, formula shown in B2, okay, which is 962,550, yan siya, is an external reference to R7. Okay, this is an external reference. So you call this, ito papakita ko sa inyo. Ayan siya, oh. Ayan, you have here on the formula bar, you will see 2017 budget.xlsx, referring to worksheet details and the cell address is R7. Okay. Ayan, cell address is R7. So, ayan, pag i-click mo, galing siya yan dito. Dito. Okay. 2017 budget.xls is the file name. Followed by details, which is the worksheet name. Followed by R7, which is the sales total. Ayan. Ito yung ating R7. Ayan, students. You see this one on the name box? Okay, that is R7. Klaro, students? So what I did is dito, ayan, wala yan siya yan dati. Ayan, na-remove ko na siya, students. What I did is, nag-equals lang ako. Then, I switch on this part of the workbook, which is another file in our case. And then click here. Yan, nakikita niyan sa taas. And then enter. Ayan, that's the figure. That's what I did. So ulit, this is the file name followed by the worksheet and the particular cell to which I copied this one. If the value in R7 changes, Excel immediately updates the 2017 budget summary workbook. So itong value na to, ayan siya. Yung halimbawa, dito sa kabila is nagbago. Like, ginawa natin itong from 78,000, tandaan ko nga 78,500. Let's say, we changes this, ito pala. Okay, from 25,250. Okay, from this one, let's say we change that to 35,000. So, magiging 972. You see that? 972,300. Then what do you expect? The value from the other workbook would also change, right? Ayan siya. Nag-change din siya, students. Okay? So now we label this data or these resources. Itong budget sales as well as budgeted expenses, tawag dito are external references kasi galing sila sa separate file. And therefore, this workbook or this file, which is 2017 budget, is a dependent workbook. In short, whatever happens to the details, nag-update din siya together. And ito, yung tawag dito sa details naman is source workbook. So, parang the lesson is just similar with previous na copy-paste lessons natin, di ba? Naalala niyo yan, students, wherein meron din tayong source at destination. Dito yung tawag lang is source workbook and external reference, which is also called the dependent workbook. A dependent workbook contains external reference. Ganun yung ibig kong sabihin. Bubulol lang si ma'am. So these two workbooks are linked because the formula in cell B2 of 2017 budget summary workbook is reference from cell R7 in 2017 budget workbook. Note, the workbook that contains the external reference is called the dependent workbook or client workbook. While the workbook that contains the original data, tawag naman sa kanya is source workbook or the server workbook. Now, next lesson is understanding external references. There's no big mystery behind external reference link. You set up links by including an external reference or a cell to a cell or range in another workbook or in another worksheet from the same workbook. So, ito pala yung ginawa natin last time sa copy and paste na lesson. We have also link rin. We also have reference link. However, it is shared within one workbook. Naka-separate worksheet lang siya, students. Yung ngayon, yung lesson natin ngayon is shared din siya pero sa different files or naka-external references. In the example shown in figure 3.11, all I did was enter an equal sign in B2 of the budget summary worksheet and then click sa cell R17 in details worksheet. And you just need to be comfortable with the structure of external reference. Here's the syntax. So, first is the path. The path is the drive and directory in which the workbook is located. Okay. It could be a local path, a network path, or even an internet address. You need to include the path only when the workbook is closed. Sa atong case kasi, sa case naton, yung detail natin at yung summary both naka-open. Okay, students? However, I want you to check on this. Okay. Let's close this one. Yeah, save. Save. And then, open ko siya ulit, summary. This time, the workbook for 2017 summary is open. Yan, ayan. Kasi may papakita ako sa inyo. I want this open. While yung workbook for 2017 budget is naka-closed. So, take a look on these students. Ayan siya, oh. Ayan, very closely. So, the path there, or the drive and directory is drive C. Okay, I have it saved on the folder for Accountancy Sched 2, Accountancy Second Year Sched 2. Ayan, that's the path. Followed by workbook name, wherein the workbook name is 2017 budget.xls. And noticed also that workbook are always enclosed in brackets. So, ito siya. Ayan na, papakita ko sa inyo. Ayan, ito yung path natin. Folder, ito na may backslash. And then, ito yung ating workbook. 2017 hanggang SX, budget.xls. So, that is your workbook name. You can omit workbook name if you're referencing a cell or a range in another sheet of the same workbook. So, kung same lang tulad ng ating previous one, di ba? Walang file name. Dire-diretso na agad tayo dito sa details. Naalala niyo yon, students, last time? Since may file name ngayon, after ng path or drive and directory, meron tayong naka-enclose in bracket na file name or workbook name. Next to the workbook name is the sheet name. The name of the worksheets tab, here you can omit sheet name if reference is defined in the same workbook. So in our case, nakaseparate, that's why we have here sheet. So may nagtanong last time, ay hindi pala sa inyo yon, it's engineerity. So we're asking from a reference formula in our e-record. Ma'am, ano ba yung naka-exclamation point? Exclamation point, yan is denoted by a range or a cell that comes from a separate worksheet. Pero nasa isang ano lang sila, within a worksheet, pero nasa isang workbook or isang file. So, laging yung ating reference dyan, laging nagsisimula sa exclamation point. So, the reference is the last one that you could find which is either a cell or a range name or even a defined name. So this time, for example, if you close 2017 budget, o yun na nga yung ginawa natin. Yung nag-change, diba? Naalala nyo? Kanina wala yung path, so nag-change siya. Note, you need the single quotation marks around the path. Okay, perfect. Ito rin, do not forget this one. Ayan, the single quotation mark. Ito. Isdog ko ha. Ayan. Ito yung single opening, tsaka ito yung closing. Ito yung ating reference, which contains this cell. So, you need the single quotation marks around the path, workbook name, and sheet name only if the workbook is closed or if the path, workbook, or sheet name contains spaces. Ayan siya. Matik yan. Pag may spaces yung ating file name, kailangan meron talagang, no doubt, meron talagang single quote marks. Excel happily ignores them if they're not required. So that's why in programming subjects, I always impose na wag maglagay ng mga spaces sa file names, kasama na din yung mga folders. Ayan o, yun yung pinagagawa ko. Para you are not required to place single quotation marks around the path. Kasama na din yung file name. Next, may mga tanong yan dyan na what happens if you update the link? The purpose of a link is to avoid duplicating formulas and as well as data in multiple worksheets. So yun. Para isahan na lang mga students, just like an enrollment system, for instance, pag nagbayad si student, in an enrollment system, what do you expect? Diba? Sa accounting, yung ginagawa nyo is ina-update din yung posting. So, dito, hindi yan problem mga students because once you add, modify, anything that has to do with external links, matik yan siya. So to be useful, however, the data in the dependent workbook should always reflect what actually is in the source workbook. Oh, very good yung summary natin na file at yung details na file. You can make sure of this by updating the link as explained here. If both the source and dependent workbooks are open, okay, walang problema sa update, students, kasi Excel would automatically update the link whenever the data in the source file changes, tulad ng ginawa ko kanina. Another, if the source workbook is open, when you open the dependent workbook, Excel automatically updates the link again. Okay. Ulitin ko ha. Kung yung source workbook, yung detail natin is open, when you open the dependent workbook, Excel automatically updates the link. So when is that? Pag pareho silang naka-open. Walang problema. Number 2, kung naka-close yung dependent workbook, wala ring problema kasi once na inopen mo siya, link automatically updates. So paano ma'am pag hindi ko na ino-open yung dependent workbook? Halimbawa yung ito, hindi ko ito ino-open ma'am. Enter ko lang ha. Halimbawa hindi ko ito ino-open ma'am, hindi siya nag-update. Nag-change na ako dito sa details. Yes. Yes, hindi siya nag-update. Anyway, Excel predicts that you don't need the update kasi hindi mo naman siya ino-open. Ganun lang yung kasimple mga students, 'di ba? So you do not get the idea na ay, may mali ako doon kasi hindi nag-update. You do not get that idea, students, kasi hindi mo naman siya ino-open. Once in-open mo siya, nag-update siya automatically. So you do not predict all of these things naman. You don't need to worry on things na hindi mo nakikita. Laging tandaan. Do not worry on those kasi ginawa na yan ni Excel for you para maging friendly. Matik yan. Pag open mo, update siya taray nana. If the source workbook is closed, when you open the dependent workbook, o baliktad, inopen mo yung dependent workbook, inopen mo itong budget summary. Naka-close naman yung iyong details. So Excel displays a security warning in the formula bar. Ganito. Ganito, ganito, ganire. Ganito, ganire. If the source workbook is closed, ayan. Kanina, naalala nyo yan? May message. Open ko ulit ha. Ayan. Yung source natin is itong budget. Open natin yung summary ha. Okay. Pakita ko sa inyo. I remember relating it in real world situations. What we're having as a lesson today is about trust issues. Trust issues. Just keep your trust. O, taga-open ko na lang. Tagal niya. Ara-aragon imaw. Ayan o, ayan o. This is the note. It is a warning telling you that this workbook contains one or more external sources that could be unsafe. Okay, alam natin, it refers to 2017 budget na details. So if you trust the link, ayan, perfect. This is the word. If you trust the links, update them to get the latest data. Ayan siya. Otherwise, you can keep working. So, di ba? Just click update. Wala ka ng problema. So, kung ano man yung binago doon sa ating details, matik yan siya mag-update kasi pinindot mo yung update. Tandaan nyo na huwag kang matakot doon dahil it serves as, ano nga nila ho? A guarantee na kung ano man yung mga in-update doon sa kabila, kailangan makuha mo yan. Kasi you are linked to that external source. Okay? Naintindihan? Enable, update. If source workbook is closed, when you open Excel, automatically displays a security warning in the information bar with tells you that automatic updating of links has been disabled. So in that case, you only click enable content. Tip: if you always trust the links in your workbook, that is, if you never deal with third-party workbook or any other workbooks from sources you don't completely trust, you can configure Excel to always update links automatically. Ganun. So, nag-complicate. Naintindihan niyo yan, students? Hello? Okay, real world situation tayo. Etong dalawang workbook may relasyon. Yung inopen mo na workbook is, iyan yung iyong dependent workbook. So, yung ating source, yung question doon, if this source workbook that we're talking about, trust, whatever happens on the source workbook, para madugot, mapurol do yun. We're talking about trust. What happens, mga student, if yung ating source is involved on the third party daw workbooks? Yung ating source is also a dependent workbook. Ganun yon. Meron din siyang another source. Yun yung tinutukoy ng third party. So, same rule applies. Pag na-open yung third party, nag-update yung ating agulo. Nag-update din yung ating source workbook. At syempre, mag-update din yung ating dependent workbook. Ganun lang yan. Same. So, to configure these things, you click File Option, Trust Center, and then click Trust Center Settings, and in the Trust Center dialog box, click External Content, and then click to select the Enable Automatic Update for all your workbooks. So, gawin natin yan na. Click File. Ilang minutes na ba? 3 minutes na lang. Then, Options. Then, Trust Center. Okay, here is your Trust Center. Ganyan lang. Sa real world, gawin nyo to. Agreement. Trust Center. And then click Trust Center Settings for us. Ay, move. Okay, this is the Trust Center Settings. The Trust Center Settings contains security as well as privacy settings. These settings help keep your computer secure. We recommend that you do not change. Okay lang yan. Pag nasa Excel, kailangan natin yan i-change. Okay, Trust Center Settings. Hala, di ko ta makita. In the Trust Center Setting dialog box, click External Content. Okay, this one, External Content. Click. Hala, di ko makita. External Content, and then click to select Enable Automatic Update for All. Click Enable Automatic. Sino doon? Enable Automatic Update for All. Alright. And then click OK. Okay. Okay. Dalawang okay. Oh, wala ka ng problema. Kasama na si third party sa ating trust agreement, ha? So, next meeting, by the way, students, if you didn't update a link when you open the dependent document, you can update it anytime by choosing data, edit. Okay, another last na ito. Data, then edit. There's that. Ano yun ulit? Data, edit links, then the edit link dialog box that appears, data ulit, data, then edit links. Where na yan siya? Edit links, and then when this appears, ayan. Ayan, it simply shows the location of your source file. Yan yung ating dito nakalagay sa 2017 budget.xlsx yung ating detail. So, With that, what do we do next? Ay, all right. Click the link and then click update values. Click the link. So, yan, pipindutin for now. Isa lang naman siya, ha? Okay. Then, update values. On. You set it to automatic and then close. Yes. We're done. So, you use the edit links dialog box to update